Chad Johnson and Boomer Esiason are Ring of Honor bound. That's right. The two Bengals legends, well, they will join other Bengals legends in the Ring of Honor later this year. Reaction, thoughts on what they had to say, and more right here on CBT. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. In the regular season, well, it's just a couple of months away. Training camp starts next week, and over the next few weeks, well, you're going to hear from plenty of players, coaches, training camp coverage, and just a few days away from hearing from Mike Brown, Zach Taylor, the Bengals coordinators, Duke Tobin, and more in the Bengals annual media luncheon. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. And a reminder that this video is brought to you by Rivertown Inkery, rivertowninkery.com. Make sure you check out all of the awesome gear, that orange and black swag that Doug and his team have at rivertowninkery.com. Today was a good day. It was a good day for the Bengals. It was a good day for two of the best players that have ever played here in Cincinnati. And let's start with Chad Johnson. I don't think it's a secret for those that watch the channel often or know me. Growing up, Chad Johnson was my favorite player. It's not close. There's no one else. There's certainly some bias there, I would say, to his legacy. And yet I think today was so fitting for him getting inducted into the Bengals Ring of Honor, or finding out that he was going to be inducted later this year. And the reason is like fivefold. First off, he held his news conference in front of a cigar lounge, which is such a Chad move. He was in Tampa, in Ybor City, and there are plenty of cigar lounges there. He had a cigar in hand when he came on the Zoom call, sunglasses, very Chad-esque, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. The other part of this is his statement to the Bengals, and then after the fact, when we were able to talk with him, and we put that entire video right here on CBT for you to watch, he said, it means everything to me. And I think it means everything to Chad for a bunch of reasons, but two of which are really important. The first one, he's been a lightning rod and debated and discussed and talked about and all of those things. And yet the farther away we get from him being traded to the Patriots and kind of that rocky 2010 season, how it ended with the Tio and Ocho show, I think people realize how much he meant and how important he was to getting this Bengals organization into the 21st century, how crucial Chad Johnson was to getting many of the fans that are fans of the Bengals now to watch Bengals games and maybe go to Bengals games. And so to me, he was such a no-brainer pick even last year. And I'm glad he was able to get in because he's one of the most influential Bengals ever, like members of the organization. And that's just it. I think there are a lot of people that still think of Ocho Cinco when they think of the Bengals, and he hasn't played in this city for 13 years, and yet he's still one of the faces. And so for him to get in, I think Bengals season ticket holders, you got it right. I get there's a lot of debate, a lot of dilemma, or a dilemma for a lot of season ticket holders about, do you go by age? Do you do this? Do you do that? He's the Bengals all-time leading receiver in yards, receiving touchdowns, and receptions. Of course, he should be in the Ring of Honor. And so that makes a ton of sense. Boomer Esiason, same way. You have two MVPs in team history. Ken Anderson got in, as he should have. It's time to put Boomer Esiason in. Helped get you, and is a big reason why you went to Super Bowl 23. Is third, and by the way, passing stats, they do change, right? Is third in franchise history in yards, but clearly he's the second best quarterback in team history. And as of right now, historically, Joe Burrow might have something to say about that. But obviously, I'm talking about Ken Anderson and guys eligible for the Ring of Honor. And so I'm really excited that these two guys got in. They both deserve to be in. And something Boomer said, he has such great perspective, I think, because he's in the media and can analyze things and looks at it in that view. When Corey Dillon made his comments, his reaction was similar to mine, where it's going to happen. I get you feel unappreciated. The Bengals are playing catch up, and they are playing catch up. I'm also not going to rip them every single step of the way because they didn't get it right by having a Ring of Honor 20 years ago or starting a Ring of Honor 25 years ago. It probably should have opened when Paul Brown Stadium opened. It didn't happen. Okay, now it's here. Let's embrace it. And so far, I think they've done a good job, and they nailed it today. Season ticket holders, give yourself a pat on the back. Obviously, I did a video about this predicting who I would put in, and these are the two guys this year that I would put in. And it's going to be electric. Monday Night Football, September 25th, Bengals Rams, week 4. Obviously, it's a Super Bowl 56 rematch. It's in prime time. I actually think the Rams might be better than people realize, assuming health to their top guys. So it should be a great game, great night. And I'm excited for that. And I'm really, really excited for Chad and Boomer, because this is their Hall of Fame. Boomer isn't going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and people know that. He knows that. And in Chad Johnson, as much as someone who admittedly was a Chad Johnson fan growing up would love to see it happen, I don't think it's realistic. I think he was a year or two away from doing that of high-level production, maybe a ring away, which he came close to in New England, but wasn't that productive there. It's just, it fizzled too soon. He needed a few more years, and he probably would have been in the Hall of Fame. Instead, I think this is kind of where it maxes out, and that's why I'm excited that he's so happy about going into the Bengals Ring of Honor. And really check out the Boomer news conference. It was a Zoom call. Also, Chad Johnson's. We posted both right here on CBT. The other thing, Chad saying that cornerback was his best position, and that he could still go toe-to-toe with some of these guys in the NFL, mentioned that he thinks he could still lock up the Jamars and T's of the world. Obviously, he's always been confident. Obviously, we would bet on Jamar and T to whoop him in a one-on-one matchup. At the same time, multiple times, Chad said, so I can't come back and play? And does this mean I can't play and I'm going to have to file for retirement? I think that's hilarious, because we know that those days are probably over, or are over. They were probably over 10 years ago. And yet he's still training. He has a fight coming up in boxing, and things are going well, obviously, for Boomer. We've seen him in media since he retired. And the other thing that stood out to me about Boomer, and this is why hopefully you can watch both of them at halftime, even listen to them. You don't necessarily need to watch them because they're Zoom calls. But Boomer mentioned how important that 1997 season was to him. When he came back, went 4-1 as a starter, Jeff Blake gets injured, and that was a year that certainly gets overlooked. But the Bengals make a push. It's Corey Dillon's rookie year. 7-9 is their finish, and it's like, oh, are they going to turn a corner here? And Boomer obviously retires, and that's that. But man, he said it meant a ton to him that he was able to help some of those young guys and finish his career right. And he went to Monday Night Football after that. So overall, I think this is a good day for the Bengals, and it's certainly a good day here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Make sure you check out all of those videos that I just mentioned. We've had a lot this week, whether it's our interview with Tyson Anderson, the Bengals safety, whether it's my thoughts on whether or not the Bengals will go after a free agent running back after keeping Joe Mixon around and having the renegotiation with him. And tomorrow, after all this Ring of Honor stuff today, tomorrow, Friday, our interview on this book right here, From Bulldog to Bengal, is coming out. Scott Burson, Sam Smathers. And so, boom, it's a really good interview on Joe Burrow. And Boomer had some interesting things to say, as did Chad, about Joe Burrow as well. So check all of those things out, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. And until next time, for Andrew Fox Miller, our channel coordinator, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now. Thank you so much for watching Cincinnati Bengals Talk.